The most interesting first point is how far we are away from the American position on this subject. It's worth remembering the Americans pulled out of ceasefire talks with Hamas last week on the grounds that Hamas was not serious about a ceasefire. So what's incredible is the Americans who are actually engaged in the process recognise the bad guys here are, as they have been from the start, are Hamas. They're the people who don't want to bring this war to a close because it means the end of their rule. They're not going to give back those hostages that they've been holding for nearly 2 years now as well in that sense. And as a result, the Americans are quite happy for the Israelis now to sort this out. That's their position. Meanwhile, here, where we've got no skin in the game, we've played no role at all diplomatically, we've had no sort of discussions about ceasefires actually with the protagonists in the conflict. Here, we're making grandiose pronouncements on the subject, far away from the reality, and it just shows how irrelevant we are compared to the Americans on this subject. So it's all very well for the Prime Minister to talk about this issue and for his cabinet to get excited about it. The reality is, as Trump said about Macron the other day, our statements don't really have any weight.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Well, indeed, I thought again, what an utterly pointless exercise. Spain and Ireland and lots of other countries have already recognised Palestinian state, but there isn't currently a Palestinian state. There isn't one. You've got the West Bank, you've got Gaza, you've got the issue over East Jerusalem. We've got Fatah supporting Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. We've got Hamas in Gaza, a terrorist organisation who's holding foreign hostages on the current side. And people are talking about recognising the state. I mean, I'm with the Israeli ambassador to the UK, Tipi Hotevelo, entirely on this, which is that this is basically a reward to Hamas for what they did on October the 7th and for continuing to hold those hostages.
Well, again, we come back to the point that who is stopping a ceasefire? It's Hamas. So how is it possible?
By the way, let's make the point that is something that even Qatar accepted last week. Qatar and America withdrew from those peace talks because basically Israel's going, right, for every hostage, we'll give you like another 1,200, 1,500 prisoners, people convicted.
It's insanity. It's madness on the Israeli part, by the way, but that's totally
completely. I mean, it's we're basically paying a ransom, aren't they? But Hamas's demands are so absurd that even Qatar, who've been bankrolling them and their leadership quite happily, even Qatar went, OK, you're not serious.
Well, exactly. This is the madness of it. So we have the people, again, who are involved in the discussions going, Hamas is to blame. And then the countries that are not involved in discussions go, we're going to recognise a Palestinian state. Yeah. How is that sensible in any way, shape or form? Recognise a Palestinian state at this moment in time firstly does border on the criminal in the sense that it does potentially encourage the idea that you're doing this in response to Hamas's actions on October the 7th. And in reality, all you have to do to get your way internationally now is to kill a few, 100 Jews, and therefore you get what you want internationally. That's step one. Step two, of course, is it's also an exercise in futility and stupidity because there is no Palestinian state right now. As you pointed out, there is a massive division in political control. We're unclear about what the contours of the state lines would be. The Palestinians don't even hold their own territory. Yeah. This is insanity to say there is a state in existence here. And you can say all you like, oh, we'll create a Palestinian state. It's about as effective as saying we'll create a state of Bordeaux and call it a new country. Who cares? This is utter nonsense. And it demonstrates once again the futility and the irrelevance of the Europeans in this debate. They're not putting any skin in the game to actually get a solution. All they're doing is trying to either appease domestic constituencies who've got riled up about this. That's a big problem. Or they're doing it to salve their conscience in some way, shape or form.
Well, it's virtuesical, isn't it?